I love Gaelic Warrior, and forgetting all betting aside, I'd love to see him go to the Ackle and do it in the
Fucking
Ackle.
Horse just shouldn't run left-handed. It's that simple.
One more chance, Matty. One more chance. Can I give him one more chance?
I wouldn't back him with fucking stolen money.
Good evening and welcome to the Cheltenham Exchange. We're back with a brief review. We're keeping it brief, I promise. Brief review of last week's festival. As you can see, we're joined by Ian, Jonny and Alex. Unfortunately, no Matty tonight. How we doing, boys? Everyone all right?
Very good, very good. Recovered now, AJ.
Nice to see you, gents. Well, yeah, only a week since it all finished. It feels like about 3 weeks to me. It seems an absolute age ago. I don't know about you, boys. Did you all have a good time? That's the main thing.
Really enjoyed it.
Had far too much Guinness, but other than that, brilliant.
Good stuff. Alex enjoyed hospitality, didn't you? Was it day 2, Al, you were in?
Yeah. Day 2 in the Coral Box. Won some tickets.
Nice.
Met some good lads who were giving one of my friends some abuse. That was Archie and Tom. So if you're watching, Archie's a big fan of the show.
Good lad, Archie. Get in there. Archie, drop the dirt on Alex down in the comments. What he was up to. Mind-sweeping people's Guinnesses and so on. So, yeah, nothing too formal tonight, boys. We'll have just a quick chat. We'll try and keep it short and sweet. What caught your eye and so on during the week. And, yeah, nice and informal. So, yeah, may as well get straight into it. Day 1, what did we start off? Slave Steel won the Supreme. Gaelic Warrior Ian won the Arkle.
I know someone who's not happy.
Managed to get around left-handed. State Man, as expected. I don't know what to make of the champion hurdle with Constitution Hill being out. Lossy Mouth Mares. Corbett's Cross was a pick for Johnny's. The National Hunt Cup, pretty impressive. So, yeah, what caught your eye, boys? Ian, I'll let you have a bit of a say. Day 1, what caught your eye, mate? What were you impressed with?
We'll start with Gaelic Warrior. Now, I have to say, all jokes aside, we talked about in the previous video, well, what Matty said, he wouldn't back him with stolen money. That is the best I've ever seen him jump. He was outstanding, I thought, anyway. And it's totally surprised me. I thought the whole plan was for him to go 2.5 and 3 mile, but what did they do now? He's won 2 miles. I don't know what they do with him, but for me, on that first day, he was outstanding.
He's good. You were happy then, Jonny? You're a Gaelic fan. I think Jonny was happy anyway.
We'll find out in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, although I hadn't backed him with anti-post really for. Yeah. I hadn't backed him really anti-post, but I went in late on him, so happy to get some money on him in the end. So yeah, he was a good run. Are we still on delay? Are we?
You're all right, mate. You're a little bit delayed. Don't worry. Ian will work his magic. Yeah. Alex, what did you think, mate?
Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was a real good. Well, I said good day's racing. There was a lot of good horses out. Obviously, it wasn't the most competitive day, was it? There were a lot of favourites that went in. I thought Slade Steel was excellent. Jumping the last when Mystical Power sort of drew alongside, I thought, oh, that's it. Mystical Power is going to go away and past, and he just battled all the way up to the line, didn't he? So that was pretty impressive. And I mean,
lengthened away, I think, in the end, didn't he?
Yeah, honest. He did. He looks like he's got that sort of combination of speed and stamina, which I mean, sort of puts into perspective how good Ballyburn is, considering how easily he beat him at the DRF. And Corbett's Cross, incredibly impressive as well. And yeah, it was an interesting day's racing and plenty of the black stuff drunk.
Good. Corbett's Cross, on obviously Johnny mentioned before, was one of your preview picks. Johnny's snuck off on the wrong side.
Hi, Johnny.
What do you reckon? Grand National horse, Johnny? Corbett's Cross?
Yeah, he looked every inch a Grand National horse, didn't he? I mean, he sort of had Dempsey Gons in his sights all the way through the race. Never looked like losing, I didn't think. It was a really impressive performance.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we'll have to mention the Ultima, previously known as the Alex Galpin race. But of course, Ian put up our winner in Chianti Classico.
Yes,
Ian, you can revel in the glory.
No, he's one I've had penciled in. Oh Christ, for not even beginning the end of last year, and I was a bit worried about, especially with the money coming for Trelawn and whether we're getting it because he was right at the bottom of the weights. But no, again, a very good performance. David Bass on board, and I prefer him on it to on Chianti Classico rather than Cobden. But yeah, very, very impressed, OJ.
Yeah, it was because obviously sitting here watching it on ITV Racing, and they interviewed Kim Bailey before the race, and it was quite, especially with, like you say, the support for Trelawn, the two of them right at the head of the market, and you wonder whether.
And Twig, we have to mention Twig as well. I know Scotty was very high on Twig, and he backed it in one of our, or tipped it in one of our
he did
videos. He ran a very good race as well. I think it was like 28-1 he went off.
Yeah, 28-1 second. Yeah, you wonder whether old Bassy knew which was the horse to sit on there. Johnny's having a quick sojourn again. Not a problem. Not a problem. Yeah. So, anything else you would want to mention on day one, boys? Really, or should we swiftly move on to day two?
No, let's move on.
So, day two, obviously, Gallagher's. Alex, you've already name dropped Ballyburn. I don't know what to say, really. It was.
I don't think there is much to say. He was just incredible, wasn't he, to be honest? And on paper, it's probably not the best Ballymore that's ever existed. Well, bearing Bingham or Gallagher's, whatever it is now. But he didn't put a foot wrong, did he, really?
No, I mean, it was just, probably if not the easiest winner of the week, and certainly one of them. Very near the top. Johnny, Ballyburn, you happy that's where he ended up, mate?
Johnny's delighted. He's so happy about it.
He won well, really, didn't he? It was a piece of cake. I don't know what's happening with this stream at all. There's something wrong with the internet.
Go on 4G, Johnny.
So,
no, he was good, wasn't he, Johnny?
I've tried both, and they're both not working. I don't know what's going on with it.
It's fine. Not a problem. Adds to the entertainment. Ian, taken.
Yes, very taken. My wallet was very taken as well. Very pleased, and I'm so glad he went on the 2.5 race to Gallagher's anyway. But as we will probably talk about in the later in the video, Ballyburn and Slade Steel both winning in that form from DRF, and also from Slade Steel's previous runs. There was a line of form with them too that franked. Oh God, I think it was about 3 or 4, 5, maybe different horses that won later in the week. But yeah, he was brilliant. I'll say a prediction. I think you potentially. I know it's Willie Mullins bingo. I wonder if you might go for the Turners, similar to what Gallopin done in recent years, and maybe go the Gold Cup route that way.
Interesting.
Early days, though. Early days.
I mean, Billy was talking champion hurdle and everything.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter posted about that. They said that if he does go that champion hurdle route, then his first Gold Cup he'd run it would be at the age of 9, and Gallopin is 8 now, and he's already run 2 Gold Cups. So
yeah,
it's quite late, isn't it, to go that way?
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll have Lossy Mouth next year, maybe if he's champion. You have State Man and Lossy maybe as these two, and then send Ballyburn chasing, but who knows?
Well, I mean, they did say they basically said Ballyburn can go where he wants.
yeah, he probably can and win what he wants.
Yeah, and then similarly, the race after the Browns Factor File, which was meant to be a beast again. Massively impressive. Ian, you put him up in the preview, I think.
Yes, I
Happy?
did. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. I don't know. He's done a lot of his runs over 2-3, 2-4, and we saw some other previews. I think Tony Mullins was the one who was, God, he was obsessed with the horse and talking about it in glowing terms. And he sold me on basically going up 3 miles. And just on what we're talking about, anti-post maybe next year. I wonder if he could be the one for the Gold Cup. I think Mr. Mullins is a tough choice on what to do with the pair of them next year, but should be a good race.
That's it. Mr. McManus might have a say in that as well.
Oh, yes.
What did you think, Al?
Yeah, he was obviously very impressive and beat Monty Star a couple of lengths. I was quite disappointed with Stay Away Faye. I know afterwards that they said he lost his shoe, and he scoped really dirty as well. So obviously he didn't give his true running, and just a shame really for that.
Yeah, Jonny.
Yeah, same as Alex. Really disappointed with Stay Away Faye with the shoe and the scope, but the winner was good, and he does look like a Gold Cup horse to me as well.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had the Coral Cup. We don't want to upset too many people, but Jonny, Jonny, what could we say? You got to take this away. Was it, you told us, you said it was obvious. Yeah.
The obvious plot, and it come in. So anyone who didn't back him and moaned about it afterwards, well, it's tough, isn't it? It was there for us all to see. So I can't believe people were whinging about it afterwards, to be honest.
It was impressive again. I mean, won so comfortably again in a handicap like that. I mean, it's just, yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, how Skelton gets pelters for that? But when Gordon Elliott did it with Side Burley in the attempts 2 years in a row, nobody said anything.
Yes. And he had 2 that day, don't forget. Mr. Skelton had 2 that he had to be asked and queried about, and with Unexpected Party. But how it ran so poorly, and then wins the, what did he win? Oh, he won the Grand Annual.
Yeah. Anything else on day 2, boys? That really nothing. I didn't even see the bumper. I got to be honest with you. Looking forward to next year. I don't know what the bumper looked like.
I was
pretty heavy by then.
Yeah, I was quite impressed with, despite him only having one run, Romeo Coolio running on for second. He was one I've took out. I think I've penciled him in potentially. I know Mr. Elliott likes them type of horses for the 2.5. Also, dog's barking. For the 2.5 race, so he potentially would be my Gallagher's one potentially.
Oh, they are. The dogs are barking for Romeo Coolio.
They are.
I know the front 2 were only 2 or 3 lengths ahead of the third, but I thought those front 2 were miles better than the rest. I know on bare form it's only a couple of lengths, but I thought they were just well clear in terms of ability. So
something to note. Okay, day 3, Turners, Grey Dawning. Ian again. You tipped this one up, didn't you, mate?
I did. He again the Skelters again. He had a superb festival this year. Jumped much better. I think we're trying to think what he won by 2 lengths. It was a great battle with him and Ginny's Destiny. I think DeGello was the third. It was quite a big price as well. But no, I was jumped much better, and the drop in distance stayed better. Yeah, very pleased.
Jonny, Ginny's Destiny. You were all year really. What did you think?
I thought it was one of the races of the week, this, and both of them jumped absolutely superbly. It was a cracking finish. And yeah, I think it could have gone either way on the day, but I think Grey Dawning actually jumped slightly better. Was it 2 out or was it the last? I can't remember, but I think that put the race to bed, really. But yeah, brilliant race, and both of them will probably go to the Ryanair next year.
Yeah, it was a good race. Fair play. Alex, any thoughts in there, mate?
My overwhelming thought after the end of the day's racing was that Dysart Enos would have absolutely shit home in the mares if she'd run.
Don't, Alex,
Um,
don't.
she battered Golden Ace, didn't she, Aintree? And it was a really slowly run race, and then turned into a sprint finish. She'd have won by half the track. That was my main thought. And then I mentioned on the preview show that obviously I really like Crambo, but I was concerned because he'd run his only poor races he'd run before on left-handed tracks, and again on a left-handed track he ran poorly again. I don't know what it is. It might still just be sort of a coincidence, and it might just be one of those things. But it is a bit funny that it is only on left-handed tracks he's not been at his best. So like Aintree, Haydock, and now at Cheltenham. So maybe one to keep an eye on for next year.
And you had the winner of the Rye now.
I was going to say,
right. Yeah,
you
I got the
did,
winner in the Rye now. I forgot about that.
You did put a Protectorat, and
I did, yeah.
I mean,
Bit of
fair
assistance
play.
from Mr. Jamie Wren.
That price held up right through the week, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? What was the SP in the end? I don't know. It's still around 8-9 to 1.
Yeah, I think he was like 12 or 14 to 1 when we put him up on the show. I think he'd been 16s or so. It may be a bit bigger than that beforehand, but I thought that was still a good price. And the race was just run perfectly to Sue, and he loved the conditions, the soft ground. It really brought out his stamina. Coming to the last, I thought Rachel had loads, and looked like she had a double handful with Envoy Allen, and then just didn't find anything. And in the post-race interview, she said it must have looked like she was holding on to a lot more than she actually was because he was beaten at that point. So, just a really well-run race, I thought. But yeah, my overwhelming thought was Dysart Enos would have absolutely hacked up.
Yeah,
and I will say one thing, OJ. Sometimes I don't know if we've discussed it in the past. Horses that have got in the Gold Cup or ridden in the Gold Cup, and sometimes they drop back to the Ryanair, always seem to do quite well. Protectorat and Conflated was third.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be worth next year, maybe worth having a look.
Like that, Ian. Like that.
Like a long press or a fast or slow, that kind of type that might drop back down.
Well, you never know.
I think long press would be perfect for that race.
Yeah.
Like it, boys. Johnny, any other thoughts on day 3 from you, mate?
No, I had a bit of a stinker on day 3, to be honest, so I'd rather forget it.
Right. That's fine. We'll move on to day 4. Gold Cup day. Obviously, all about Galopin de Champs. But Alex, Madgeborough, Triumph Hurdle.
He was good, wasn't he? He was real good.
Nice. Very impressive again.
It was another one where he looked like he was going to win, and then I thought Cargis was going to beat him, and then then he just sort of stayed on at the hill, didn't he? And he does look like he's going to make a smashing chaser. I'm not sure if they'll go chasing them next year. They might just give him another year of the hurdles. They quite like doing that, don't they, with their juveniles? Give them another year just to sort of fully mature. Although, I mean, a lot of the time it's because they're not particularly big, are they? But he's already much more physically imposing than most sort of juveniles, isn't he? So I don't know, they might do. Maybe go straight chasing and see what happens, I guess.
Lovely. That was mightily impressive. I mean, Gold Cup, boys, as predicted. I mean, Galopin was just class, wasn't it? Class horse in the race.
I thought the eye catcher was a Korat Rambler, considering how far back he was, and he stayed on for third at the hill, didn't he? It was almost like the jockey had been told, like, don't get too close. If the race falls apart, try and win. If not, just sort of stay on and see what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Just stayed on for a nice third. Obviously, probably picked up a nice chunk of prize money, and all roads now lead to the Grand National.
The distance was held, wasn't it? I like that one, Ian, because you and I were on some show in October or something, and
yes.
I put a College Rambler for the
It was Alex. It was Alex.
Sorry, Al.
Credit. Me and you, OJ, we were on that show with Racing Interest.
I was supposed to be.
Yeah, that was the only show daft enough to ask me on. No, it was very impressive from Galopin. What else did we have? Absurdian. You put Absurd up, didn't you, in the county?
Yes, so we spoke about this before we started recording. Again, it's another big thank you to Mr. Wren, who discussed this with us at the Dublin Racing Festival. So I backed it then, but I will say, with the conditions during the week and it being heavy ground or heavy soft in places, I thought he would not entertain it. And I think the market saw the same as well. I think he went out to 16-1 at one point. But cool, what a run! Actually, come out of nowhere, come out of the clouds and won. I'm trying to think what he won by. I can't see. He won by a length. Load of Sud again was. Well, I think Alex had mentioned previously that was it the Great Word form you said about, and that was obviously it proved to be he ran very well. But yeah, what a ride by Paul Town on an absurd. It was wow, just literally come out of nowhere and to go on that ground like he did, brilliant.
Yeah, I
The other
thought.
one I put up, OJ, Jukebox Man.
Yes,
second in the Bartley, just touched off, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, I thought Load of Sud ran a good race because I had a little Dan Skelton lucky 15 running where 2 had gone in, Protectorate in there, and I was all over Load of Sud as my 4th selection in there after listening to you, Al, and I thought he ran a cracking race. To be honest, it was just absurd. Obviously, had that much in hand.
you could see. I think that the flat, obviously, with the pace and where he's run at, was in the Melbourne Cup. I think that paid in the end. Just that speed or that flat speed that won it for him in the end, I believe.
Yeah. I know Johnny's obviously having a few technical difficulties, but Dino Blue, obviously there was questions on the trip. I thought she ran a good race, but it was Limerick Lace. I think it was the staying power. The ground probably was a contributing factor, but I don't think you would have any ongoing concerns about the trip for Dino Blue. I think she got it quite well. Personally, I don't know.
The only criticism I think that you could see with the money was coming from Limerick Lace. It was weird. They said in the beginning of the morning that the money was totally going for Limerick Lace. Then it seemed to change and go to Dino Blue. But I wasn't that impressed with Mark Walsh. He kept her right at the back. Johnny might agree or disagree with me. And I think he gave her too much to do in the end. But Limerick Lace, give her a due. She was a good winner. But I think he could have given her a better ride myself. But what do you think, Johnny?
I know Mark's a regular watcher of the show. Mr. Walsh, get your retort back to the boss man in the comments.
I think she'd be better off sticking to the 2 miles. She's a strong traveller, isn't she? And I don't think there's any chance this race is going to be run to suit her. So I think drop back down in trip. Doesn't seem to me like a 2.5 miler.
Okay. Johnny, back with us at the moment. What did you think with Dino Blue? Were you happy with her run, or obviously not as happy as you could have been?
I thought she ran really well. I think it was, I thought she ran really well. I thought it was the ground, to be honest. I thought slightly better ground, and she wins a race in my view. But we'll never know, will we? It is what it is. So she ran a good race in defeat, I thought, and the winner won well. Can't take it away from her.
No, I agree. That's exactly what I was thinking and touched on.
You could probably say the same about Allegory Devassi. I think maybe she's done it twice now, hasn't she? Where I think the trip, she had her ground, but I wonder if the 2.4, 2.5 is just too much for her. She won 10 times better over 2 miles. I wonder if, I don't know what you do with her, to be honest, but I'm disappointed again with her, sadly.
Never mind, but overall, boys, anything else? Day 4, anyone got anything else really that they wanted to mention?
Just briefly, what I said about earlier, I said with the Ballybird and Slade still, you saw on this day as well, with Better Days Ahead winning the Martin Pipe. You had Stella Story winning the Albert Bartlett, and say that line of form had franked the 3 or 4 races, especially, or 2 or 3, absurd as well. So 3 let alone on that day. So that was fantastic.
Form lines to follow in.
Definite. And we can say all these anti-posts. I know we enjoy doing these, but sometimes it just on the day or in the week you find a little something, and it all potentially could link up, and you might not know until the day or the week. It's just happened, sadly. Well, they say sadly, but
Very true.
yeah,
It's usually the Irish.
yeah.
Excellent, boys. Well, if there's nothing else you wanted to mention on day 4, I mean, before we wrap up, we're 25 minutes in. We're on course to break the half-hour record.
I will say one more thing, and I'll stop talking. And then I need to give dues to Paul Beck. I think it was on with Cheltenham Mental, and I watched it. It's probably one of the only guys through the whole preview circuit was talked about the Hunter's Chase, and he put me on to Seen the Mean that won the
Oh yeah.
Chase beat It's on the Line. But yeah, so and that was one. He said the 2 British ones to keep an eye on, and again that was one I didn't back literally until about 10 minutes before the race, because I looked at the form and I remembered what he talked about, and fortunately it won. I had more money on It's on the Line, but yeah, thank you, Mr. Beck.
Yeah, and It's on the Line was very, very fancied, wasn't it? So
It was, yeah, it was.
Yeah, no good. So yeah, Jonny may get back on with us before we wrap up, but I mean, throughout the whole festival, boys, what would you say was your most eye-catching performance of the week off the top of your head?
Ooh. Normally I would say Ballyburn, but I have to say Gaelic Warrior in that article blew me away with just how well he jumped. He was like one of them, bloody hell, I couldn't believe he, let alone going left-handed, and how well he jumped. I thought he was outstanding. He was my eye catcher of the week.
Love that, Ian. What do you reckon, Al?
I think Corbett's Cross for me, just the way how he jumped the last, and it looked like he hadn't run at all. It looked like a 5 furlong sprinter going on that hill, didn't he?
Yeah.
At the end of the long race on pretty hard going ground, he just flew.
Do you know what? Honestly, I remember thinking when watched the Corbett's Cross rate, I remember thinking he made it look like the ground was normal ground. Do you know what I mean? It was like it didn't look like he'd run on even slightly soft ground. It was, yeah. I totally agree with that. It was, eye catching. And anything that I mean, Christ Almighty, we're 12 months away. But anything that you're thinking, I'm really keen on something for next year.
I'm not so I'm sure I'd say really keen, but I mentioned you mentioned about Gold Cup horses going down to the Ryanair. I've just had a look, and Long Press is 25-1 best price with Sky for that. So I'd probably have a little sneak on that, but I'm not really too interested in anti-post at this stage. No,
that's good, Ian.
There's a few I've penciled. I think Slade Steel potentially could be one for the Arkle. Ballyburn potentially for the Turners. Like Romeo Coolio could go Gallagher's to the 2.5 that Elliot normally likes. I think he's done it with Envoy Allen and Sam Crow, I think, in the past. Fat to Fold Gold Cup. I think it maybe a bit quite obvious now, but that could be a good battle. Other than that, no, not really. If we say about one disappointment, I think the Champion Chase was disappointing again. Just seems to. I know El Fabione, I think he clumped 2 or 3, and it just seems to be that race that I know Captain Giddis was a good winner, but it just seems to disappoint. The last few years, I think we've had with Shishkin, and we've had the Badwear and Ergamine coming out, and Everstone disappointed. But yeah, that was the big disappointment, I think, was that race for me.
You want 2 absolute top class 2-mile chasers, don't you? Going at it the whole way, fast and furious, jump the last together, and see who can survive till the end. But it's not been a top quality one for the last few years, is it?
No.
I mean, I think the thing was with El Fabiolo, it was always a possibility that it was going to happen, wasn't it? I mean, you've been talking about him and John Bomb for God knows how long, and I don't know. They're not. Go back to old days; they wouldn't be there. Right, lads. I'm thinking Johnny's technical issues have probably proven a step too far, so we may as well wrap up. Thank you for your time. To everybody who's watched throughout the season, we thank you very much. We'll probably do some bits. I'm sure we'll do something before Aintree, but obviously, in terms of Cheltenham, it was all built up to last week, and all great fun. I've really enjoyed it. You know, I love listening to you boys talking racing. I take so much from it. So personal thanks to you. But yeah, to everybody who's watched, commented, interacted in any way, thanks for watching. We really do mean it. We enjoy having the chat and the fact that people do praise it. Alex, both you boys have mentioned that people came up to you at the festival and had a chat and said they enjoyed watching and stuff. And to us, we totally buzz off hearing things like that. So yeah, everybody out there who has, big thanks from all of us. And remember, comments down below. Let us know what really caught your eye during the festival. If you've got anything, any thoughts that you can see building up to next year, don't be afraid to get that interaction in there. And we will see you all again soon. Thank you, chaps.